Hi everyone, my name is Jamie Halloran, and today I will be giving my leadership spotlight presentation for MBA 621. I will be doing my presentation on the late Pat Summit. Just to give a little background information on who she is for those of you who aren't familiar, Pat Summit was and still is considered one of the most decorated coaches in all of college sports. She coached at the University of Tennessee for 38 years and she won 8 national championships there. More importantly, she had a graduation rate of 100%, so everyone who came in and played for her always ended up with a college degree. She received numerous medals of honor and accolades. Among those, some are the Presidential Medal of Freedom, which she received from President Obama. She was named Sports Illustrated Sportswoman of the Year, and she also won the Arthur Ashe Courage Award. Outside of basketball, she also wrote 3 best-selling novels that covered her coaching tactics, leadership tactics, and stuff off the court. And she was also the keynote speaker at many events. She lost her battle with early onset Alzheimer's in June 28th of 2016. To this day, she's remembered as one of the pioneers for women in sports and one of the best coaches this generation has seen. And up until a couple weeks ago, she was the winningest coach in college basketball, men or women. Like I said before, she wrote several novels on leadership and kind of what her tactics was that she instilled into her players. She started the Pat Summit Leadership Group, which still exists today. In my opinion, I thought she displayed the idea of intentional change in that through the game of basketball, she tried to spark change for equality for women in sports. If we think 40 years ago, women were prominent in sports, but they weren't nearly as respected as men are. So she really embodied the idea of how to lead, and also it was not seen that a woman was that successful as she was. So she kind of sparked that change and led the change to where we are today, where women are more respected in sports. She also and she acknowledged weak spots in her players, which led to high emotional intelligence. So I think that because she was coaching young women and her being a woman herself helped her with this high sense of emotional intelligence. She knew how to approach her players and find that balance between not degrading them, but kind of the tough love in which she found like the gray area of correcting them, and which led them to making those championship runs. Um, she also helped these girls obviously graduate, so I think a lot of the values that she instilled in them um, helped her achieve that 100% graduation rate. To talk about some of the ethical dilemmas, I had said before that she faced gender discrimination just as a female leader. Usually, women in leadership roles, if they're seen, as fierce or just harsh, it was almost unheard of. Um, and still to this day, there are those gender norms that if a woman is too harsh, they get called certain names and stuff like that. During Summit's early years, as I said, women are not nearly as respected in sports as men. Um, with her leading by example, she set the bar high for young women and for women coaches even today. She responded to her obstacles by proving that women do belong in leadership roles in sports and women belong in sports in general by becoming the winningest coach in college history. Like I said, until about 2 weeks ago, the head coach at Stanford women's basketball, who was also a woman, just passed her up. Um, and then for the ethical theory, I think that she mimicked the deontological ethical theory, which is the idea that people should be treated with dignity and respect. So, being that she was a woman, she was already at a disadvantage, and by her showing that courage and kind of breaking that glass ceiling really inspired those around her. And like today, obviously, she um, was a pioneer in that movement, but even today, we saw a woman as first Super Bowl referee. We see women coaching in the NFL, NBA, MLB. So it's not just narrowed to just women coaching women. We now see women coaching grown men professional, which I don't think we would have seen. And I think Pat Summit really set the bar for that. And she saw that, going back to the deontological theory, she saw that there was that gap of disrespect between men and women, and she really just took the bull by the horns and kind of proved everyone wrong and set the bar for what equality we have for women in sports. And maybe I played college basketball, so her story is obviously very inspiring to me, and I kind of followed her in Tennessee growing up. So I think that her theories and leadership qualities are very important, especially and relatable to me and my experience in sports. And this is the key takeaway. Obviously, treating people with respect can go a long way. You rarely hear anything bad said about Pat Summit. It's important to stick with your own morals, even if those around you are constantly wishing you to fail. So, obviously, I read that she received like death threats and was asked to step down from her job multiple times, and she obviously pushed through that and led by example to kind of show that women do belong in sports. And I also think there's obviously still more work to be done to achieve complete equality, but we'll get there someday.